guys, important lesson here today. We're talking about tangents, so strap in, listen up, and grab a cup of coffee because this is going to be a little bit of a longer one. Tangents are almost impossible to avoid, but there are some tips and tricks on how you can work around them. So stick around to the end of this video for some of those tactics. Now, what are tangents exactly, and why is it important for us artists to know about it? Well, tangents are basically a geometric term that means that objects are touching. So in two-dimensional art, this can cause a problem because the viewer can get confused about what the shapes are. Here's an example with two circles, right? Or wait, is it the number 8? As you can see, it's kind of confusing. So to create a clearer image, make sure that these separate objects have space between them, or that they overlap to help the composition. Let's see what that means in comics, and let's take a look at some random pages from my art and see if we can find some of these pesky tangents that I'm talking about. Now here is a page from Stiletto. So let's see if we can find some tangents here. Okay, here's one. See this guy, his jacket here? See how it goes and is confused with the line of this guy over here. So I would call that a tangent. What else? This may be a tangent right here. Two shapes are easily confused. Oh, here's a good one. This bubble here, this word balloon, seems like it's almost resting on the shoulder of this character right here. Now this bubble helps a little bit because that's in the foreground, so that kind of makes it easier to tell the shapes apart, and of course the coloring, and that helps a little bit. Yeah, I think that's it. Here's another Stiletto page. Well, you could call this a tangent. Right here you have these parallel lines, which makes it a little bit unclear that they're carrying this this foosball table down the stairs. But this one's definitely a tangent. See the line weight of this, the dark here, it just continues straight on down to the next panel, which is a problem. So yeah, that's definitely something that I would have fixed in hindsight. A lot of hindsight in this video. Okay, another page from Stiletto. Let's see if we can find some nice tangents here. Well, here's one for sure. Here, see it, the parallel lines, and here's, you could also call this a tangent right here, and this one. The fact that he's leaning against the frame like that, well, I could say that, you know, it's been done symbolically to show that Maynard is under some sort of pressure, like he's boxed in, but that would be that would be bullshit. Sorry. Here's another great example of a tangent. So see how this line here goes straight up into the next picture. That's not great. Here's a page from a book called The Last Good Man that I did with the Danish writer couple under the pen name A.J. Kaczynski. There's a tangent here with the door frame here. See, it almost touches his head right here, like he's leaning his head against the door frame. The arm here helps, so that helps us tell the two shapes apart. That's a nice little trick to, if you do have this parallel line problem, is to break the line with something so that you don't confuse it with the edge of the panel. Another page from The Last Good Man. Let's see if we can find a tangent. Oh, here's one. See how the edge of the frame, the panel, is almost resting on this guy's head. This guy right here, is he in front? Is he a very small man in the front? Or is this person actually in the front here? So it's a little hard to tell. One little close to the edge of the balloon here. This one is definitely a wrong placement of the balloon. Look, it looks like his elbow is speaking. Should definitely have fixed that. What have we got here? Really? No tangents on this page at all? Wow. This is another page from The Last Good Man. The coloring definitely helps to put these feet in the foreground here, because if I hadn't put that apart from the background, this guy seems like the feet are standing on top of this little man in the background there. So here's one. The word balloon is right up against this guy's head. This you could consider a tangent line here, straight up. That's one of the reasons why I use these very fat borders to my panels, is because it helps avoid these tangents. Here's another one, by the way. They're everywhere. Damn. This is from a book called Diego and Dali. There's a great example of a tangent right here. This line and this line. It's very hard to tell that it's not two different panels, right? Even when there's a line here that kind of suggests that it's, yeah. So in hindsight, I would definitely have put something in the foreground, maybe, or maybe just the note stick to the door there. I could have moved that over here and sort of broken the line that way. What else? Oh, here's another one. Panel, border resting right on top of this character's head. This line right here and this line right here looks like almost that's the shape you're supposed to be looking at. Another tangent right there. You see, I've broken up this line, right, the parallel to the border again. I've broken that up with a caption, so that's one way of cheating. Still Diego and Dali. Here's a weird tangent right here. The tail of the balloon is sort of resting against his leg. That's a little confusing. Oh, here. I would say that all the letters here, they're right up against the border of the panel. That's really crappy. You could argue that this is a tangent as well, because it seems like the lines are sort of continuing into the next panel. This is a page from The Devils Concubine, out from IDW, released in 2011. You can still find that on Amazon. I wanted to show you this black and white version of the page because it's obvious that it's full of tangents. Here's one. Again, doorways, really tricky. This is kind of a tangent because it looks like, yeah, is this the door? Does it end here or does it continue outside the frame? But here, for sure, you have a problem. Like, is this one panel and then two panels and then 3, 4? No, wait, this character goes in front of that. Okay, so it's a window of some kind, a door. Again, here you have the parallel lines, always a problem. But if we take a look at the colored version, you can see that the fact that I've colored the door, that helps it stand out because that's the important element of the page. Same goes for this further down here. As you can see, the coloring helps determine that the frames don't end here, but in fact is one picture. Another black and white example from The Devil's Concubine. Here's a great example of a tangent. This chimney right here just continues into the next panel. But then when you look at the colored version, it's much more clear what's going on. So coloring is definitely a way to help avoid these tangents. Here's one, right? But it's even worse in the black and white version. Tangents are kind of like that horror movie Sinister. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So tangents are really hard to avoid completely, and it doesn't matter if you have a few here or there. It's not going to destroy your whole page. I hope this little video helped you at least be a little bit mindful when you're drawing, and hope you got some tactics to kind of solve the problem before it occurs. Thanks for watching, and take care.